Hi. Hello, guys. So, what was that? Hello, guys. Hello. So, this Yap Sesh is probably going to be something that has two major things that I've been thinking about, which is like the um, Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, and then basically the concept of the history of dragons. Dragons. Just putting my yapping thoughts out there again, because, yapping channel. So, first off, with the trailer for Jurassic Rebirth, I'm just kind of confused about like whether or not they are trying to follow what the books are saying, because I see everywhere that people are always like, well, that's the whole point, is that they're not actual true dinosaurs. But then in the first movie, they were trying to make them as accurate as they could be for the time, because it was like back in the 1990s, or I think. So I don't know. It probably depends on who's directing the movie, I guess. But it's just, I don't know if they're doing it for the books or not, because for this fucking D-Rex, whatever, Rancor, whatever the fuck, in there, they like to, people like to make excuses by saying, oh, well, the point is, because they're not actual dinosaurs, so that's why we can do this weird fucking knuckle walking thing. Um, but it's like, okay, so that's for the books, right? The point of them not being real dinosaurs. But I mean, like, was it really a frog as your first choice instead of like any bird? I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on that. But like, if they, like, because the first movie wasn't exactly like the books, but I haven't read the books, so this is basically me just like inviting anybody else to like answer a question, because I haven't done anything. So I'm perfectly willing to have somebody say something if anybody watches this video, but just putting my thoughts out there. So if they are trying to make stuff as accurate as they can, like in the first movie, Jurassic Park, then why can't we just keep doing that? Or like, if they aren't, then I guess they could just do whatever they like. But I don't really think they're doing stuff exactly by the books. So I don't know. But it's just it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's just big giant monster, dinosaur, more mythicizing of the dinosaurs. So this stuff I don't really think is going to be going away soon because of this, because Jurassic Park is kind of like the only franchise about dinosaurs that we have. Prehistoric Planet was really good. I didn't see everything, but from what I did see, because I don't have Apple TV, but from what I did see, it looks really good, based on just having dinosaurs be animals, since they are animals. But Jurassic Park is just supposed to be entertainment, which is why they don't make everything look realistic. So they just count on the public's perception of dinosaurs, because it's still kind of the same thing. Big lizard or whatever. Big simplification. So, I don't know. But if anybody has more to add, then I'm welcome to looking at more information, because based on what I'm just saying stuff based on what I know. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's the same thing. Rebirth, just trying to redo the series. So, I don't know. Um, Everybody keeps talking about the Spino or whatever, but that's just the same argument of just like, okay, well, is it supposed to be accurate or not? So, the one in Rebirth, the Spino, it's more realistic in that it has like the different sail shape and long arms with the claws and stuff, even though the other one did. But the head and neck shape is just kind of weird. But that's my biggest gripe. I don't know if they have a paddle on their tail or whatever, but I couldn't tell you, because I don't really go into detail about Jurassic Park, because I like to look at accurate stuff. I mean, I guess it's more accurate than Jurassic Park 3 Spino. Just because its legs are not so long, and but I think the head shape of the Spino is a bit more accurate in 2000 or Jurassic Park 3 than it is in Rebirth, which is funny. I don't know. I mean, like, it's like more accurate in some places, but then less accurate in then some. So I don't know, but still, it's not supposed to be. It actually does kind of look like a frog because of its skin. So maybe that's the one they make with a frog. It just says frogs, so it's like, okay, what kind of frog? Frog. Okay, but yeah. And then there's people who are still arguing about which thing the Spino did. Isn't like, was it semi-aquatic or was it terrestrial because they made that model or something and that one experiment and it didn't do too well going underwater. So I have a theory about what the Spino did. I think since it doesn't do too well in deeper water, but it can also walk just fine. So the stork hypothesis, as in stork, is pretty good, but I think that like it probably used its sail to like, and its tail to probably like trap fish in like streams or something, and then it would use its thin jaws to quickly snatch up fish to the side once they get trapped, because they'll try to dodge and stuff like that if they get blocked. But that's just one thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, because I would say that that's pretty good. I mean, if they just go to like streams or shallow water to try and trap, but I don't know. It is dependable. Based on what I know, that's like my little theory about why it has like the sail and then the paddle-like tail, even though it wouldn't do too well with like being fully aquatic. Anyways, but yeah, Spino, whatever, and then the fucking D-Rex, which has a melon head like a beluga whale. I don't know. And it knuckle walks. There isn't any knuckle walking dinosaurs that I know of, but again, that's just a part of the other discussion. I don't know. Like, people keep putting so much effort into arguing when the people who are making the fucking movie don't care that much. They're like, let's make it look like a Rancor and an alien. Ah, that would be so cool. And then they put it in there, and then that's it. Like, they don't care as much. They're trying to make entertainment. Like, it's not supposed to be like that serious, or it's not supposed to be something that people should waste their time on because it's obviously not real. But like, if we could get like more media about having dinosaurs just be animals, that would be cool. But I think we're going in the right direction with Prehistoric Planet. But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Maybe one day when we can get the dinosaurs to stop roaring, since they didn't do that. I don't know. I'm a bit of a mammal fan, but I don't hate any other animals. It's just sometimes the overhype of something will get you to go in the other direction. Let's just say. So, but you know, speaking of mammals, like, they're everywhere. With anything that people know about the classic sounds of any dinosaurs, most of the time it's either a bird sometimes, but most of the time it's a mammal. Always a mammal. Like, and then with the dragons too. Dragons that have been showing up within the last, like, ever? I mean, the dragons that have been showing up like in medieval art and everywhere, it's always been a chimera / hybrid of different animals. It's always been a mix. They've never really been completely reptilian. Like, if I try to look up the definition of a dragon, it says something that's supposed to be reptilian, and it's like, okay, well, like, where do just reptilian traits show up, like, with any of these dragons? Because you got, like, Toothless. I'm not hating on Toothless, but you got, like, Toothless. The only reptilian thing about him is just the scales. That's it. Everything else is, like, the fins. of like a ray fin fish, and then bat wings, and then they give him those quote unquote ears, which is like, yeah, that's just trying to code ears into like a reptilian thing or whatever. They act as ears, but and then cat eyes, and then he has the basic shape of like a newt. So there's like nothing besides scales that is like reptilian about them or anything else. Because with How to Train Your Dragon and with serpents, whenever somebody thinks of a serpent, it's always like something that has those fins on it. And it's like, well, that's not a reptilian thing. That's always going to be like a mix of a fish. Like when people draw sea dragons and then they make the fins that are like right here. And it's like, yeah, but that's like analogous to like limbs. So that would be the same thing as like putting small arms right here. So it's just a little thing that I kind of noticed, but it's like, OMG, it's not that deep, bro. I like to talk about it, okay? This is a yapping channel. It's like, yeah, like if you say serpent, that's probably a bit more indicative of something that's just reptilian. Because people everywhere are always talking about like giant snakes or giant serpent. Because the word serpent later became synonymous with snakes, even though it wasn't quite a snake. Because a serpent just means like a dragon or giant reptile. It wasn't supposed to be just a snake. But I think most of the fire breathing stuff and the wings, I think, was originated with like the spitting cobra, I think, way back. Some roots in like Egypt or somewhere, like Mesopotamia. I forgot. If anybody has any corrections, I would love them. So I'm not trying to say any of what I'm saying are definitive facts. I'm just like giving my thoughts and observations, and am open to corrections, like a discussion. But you got the spitting cobras, and then they put out their skin to kind of like make it fan out, which is like probably went through some translation thingamajig, and then people thought they were wings, and then since they also spit out their venom from like for really far away, and it burns your eyes, and then the burning sensation, and then eventually you get a winged, fire breathing, fire spitting thing. And that's kind of like a really basic sum up of history of where we got the fire breathing and the flying. But you look at any European dragon and it's got like bat wings. I don't know why. I don't know why bat wings had to be the ones to spread everywhere. This isn't me dissing on bats either. But it's just, why are we picking like mammalian things for all these? But I don't know. Like, you can do what you want, but it's just, when people think of dragon in the modern day, it's always something reptilian. But then nobody realizes how many mammalian traits show up everywhere. Because you get the Eastern dragons, and they're like, they got that stuff everywhere. I might have said this before, but I mean, like, with the Eastern dragons, if you could tell me what specifically, what strictly reptilian thing you have for Eastern dragons, then that would be cool. But like, they always have like antlers or horns, which is stuff from like artiodactyls. People always draw them with canines and molars, and then they draw incisors, and then they draw them with human-like noses, and then they give them koi scales, and then they give them whiskers and external ears and fur, and then that's kind of it. And then it's like, there's nothing reptilian about this. So like, the word dragon, I think, just kind of has to be like, or the definition just kind of needs to be like redone, I think, because dragons just seems to be anything mixed with a reptile at this point. Because I don't know, like, are we coping or something? I don't know, because this shit is everywhere. But people always try to make up these animals that look so cool, and then they just end up making them mixed with like anything else that isn't a reptile. But that's just what I've been noticing. But it's whatever, bro. But yeah, no dissing on any animals or whatever. But I don't know. Like the phoenix. The phoenix. Well, I don't know if it breathes fire, but it's like made of fire or it's covered in fire, and it's like that thing looks more like the modern consensus of a dragon than any other dragon that I've seen in media. Because I mean, like birds are in the sauropsid lineage, theropods, birds, so they're completely reptilian. And it's like, yeah, that a phoenix, that could be like a dragon. I mean, if it just has the ability to spit fire and then it flies. So that's something that's probably more reptilian slash draconic than like the things that always look like a mix between mammals and something. But I think the peak design of like any creature is like when you take into account like all animals instead of having favoritism. Even though I kind of everybody's gonna have their bias here and there, like me, but it's better to like do it together. Yes, it's cheesy, whatever. We're all in this together. Yeah, I touched on that a little bit in my last Yap Sesh, but it's just nobody else seems to notice this type of stuff. Because, I'm so observant, of course. But what's another example? And then you got like other places which are just like giant snakes or whatever. You got Quetzalcoatl, which is a feathery serpent, which is a mix. That's probably more draconic slash more reptilian because it's a mix between a bird, which is a sauropsid, and snakes or serpents or whatever, which are also sauropsids. So that's one that's completely reptilian. Let's see. But again, this is just about taxonomy, so I like taxonomy, but sometimes it can get really picky because it's like, when is this not this, and when is this not this? So sometimes the definitions, once you get past the fundamentals, kind of get a bit iffy. Yeah, I don't know, but those are just my thoughts on like the more of this Jurassic Park stuff, and then with dragons, quote unquote dragons. I really just think that the definition of dragon is just like something that's not really that clear, or it depends on the time period when you would say, or of what people were thinking. But yeah, the I don't know. I mean, like, you could do a design like with stuff that's completely reptilian and have it look cool. I don't know, like you could do something that has pterosaur wings. I mean, everybody keeps just doing the bat-like wings everywhere, but it's like, why don't we just do more pterosaur wings, and then we could have the dragon be like completely reptilian. But I don't know, but like all this hybrid stuff. The concept of hybrids I've been looking at like basically my whole life. I'm just really realizing that now. It's the same thing. Like when you mix animals together, it's just like, yeah, everybody likes the idea because that's like mix these two animals together and then you pretend that you can just get all the benefits without the drawbacks, and then yeah, that's how you get a made-up animal. But yeah, sometimes it can be fun to add in some realisticness, but then that just brings a whole bunch of arguments into account because it's like, okay, well, where's the line for this real life stuff? Because like I did the hybrid challenge for Goji Center, and then I made mine Kigora Talo. That's the name. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. But there's always, everybody likes to bring in an explanation here and there as if it's supposed to be realistic, but it's like, well, this whole thing is impossible in the first place. So it's like, do you bring logic into it or not? I don't know. If they do, then you're gonna have to open Pandora's box with everybody else who will bring in their points versus people who bring in their points. And then people will say, what about this? What about this? Or it's like, oh, well, this is all fake. Stop thinking about it so much. It was like, well, then what do you want me to do? I mean, like, it's like, sometimes it just goes back into the, like, the my character is better than your character thing. And then there's, like, no purpose in arguing because it all can't happen. But I don't know. It can be fun to an extent as long as people just don't take it that serious, because it doesn't have to be. Certain things don't have to be that serious. But yeah. I think my battery's on low again. But those are just the two things I wanted to say, my thoughts. But again, I would love to have more information if I'm missing anything, but it's just, I don't know, because everybody always likes to keep making excuses for these people who aren't thinking that much about the movie they're making. They just need to make entertainment. And then people are always running up and bending over backwards to back them up for some reason, even though they themselves aren't. So that's the thing that gets annoying, when it's like the creators of said thing aren't even thinking as much about you on this subject. All right. I think that's a big sum up. But my upload schedule is pretty wild and all over the place, but I can try to get off my ass, because I know that people aren't dying to listen to this, but it's just, I like to put my stuff out there, because as long as maybe if one person can see like a new point of view or new things to consider, then that'd be good in my book. But it's just when you think about certain things, and it's just, you gotta say it in order to get some clarification or have it put out there. Because yeah, it'd be cool if we have like more stuff about the real dinosaurs, because this dinosaur overhype is probably not going to die anytime soon. Just like with the fucking super strength of the monkeys lie, that also won't fucking die. But yeah, there's so many more cool animals to put out there, and this hybrid stuff proves it. Yeah. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Alright, thank you to the one person that might see this or whatever. But I wore this for the topic of the video. No hate towards any of these animals. It's just something I noticed. Okay. Have a good day or night, or wherever the fuck you are.